In my other video, I talked about how if China invades Taiwan, we're screwed because 90% of the advanced microprocessors come out of Taiwan. So also you gotta remember that all this time in the past, I don't know, 10, 20 years, especially with the tech industry and the resources that supply the tech industry, you see other countries that have resources like rare earth metals, China has been taking control over these resources, okay? So if they had invaded Taiwan, that's the nail in the coffin for us, in case you didn't know that. Yeah, all this technology that we rely on, yeah, just about everything, you know, your car, your toaster, smartphone, whatever, done. Shortage, major shortage. And I said, well, maybe the Chinese are waiting a couple of years before they do invade, or maybe it's within the next week. I don't know. But when you look at what's been going on lately, they've been ramping things up beyond saber rattling, and they're having military drills all the way around the island. Yeah, they're swarming the island like flies on shit under the premise of its military drills. And they said something about a new round of military drills. Okay, well, whatever. But it's like they're making such a presence all the way around the island. It seems like what they're getting ready to do is say, you're surrounded. This could turn into a military blockade. Nothing comes out of Taiwan. Yeah, think about that, eh? Not only that, whatever Taiwan relies on for imports will be choked off and they'll be starved of whatever they rely on. Well, either way, you know, they could easily say, okay, well, hey Taiwan, it's in your best interest to surrender, and you're now part of China, whether you like it or not. So this military drill could turn into a blockade, and they'll just keep it up until Taiwan relents. But here's the one question: what is up with China? What is going on? Okay, yeah, they're communists. What's up with these communists? What's going on? Okay, you're probably wondering, what's up with them? I mean, like, man, they're really serious about everything. It's like you feel like saying to Xi Jinping, buddy, what is your problem? Chill out, man. You got to remember that everywhere in this world, greed and power is everywhere. It's just how you go about implicating it. But with communists, it's like you got to be real spin doctors, and it's almost like they make it so obvious to the point where, yeah, they know that we know that they're being really spin doctors and shifting blame on someone else. Something goes wrong, well, you're to blame. You don't like what they're doing, well, they put a spin on that. Or you just have to point at them and say, oh, that's a threat to our national sovereignty. So here's the thing, it's an autocracy. It's all about total control. To them, citizens are just dogs, okay? They don't put no value on human life. Now, who's they? Well, it's like about, I don't know the exact numbers, but it's something like 8 or 9% of maybe even less of the total population of China is communist politicians, or part of the CCP, and they have their own hierarchy. They control power and wealth. Everybody else, you're just dogs. As long as they're obedient dogs, which is where I'm going with this. Now, you don't want those dogs to bite. They have to, oh, and by the way, it's in Xi Jinping's best interest to invade Taiwan, okay, because people have been raised by this ideology that, you know, this form of government and society is something you should worship. They've been raised that way. They're not so much brainwashed, it's called raised by ideology. How would I put it? If the CCP was to relent just a little bit, give in to other people's demands, make concessions with Taiwan, make concessions with other countries, as if to give in, just give an inch. To them, it'd be like losing a mile. You see, you gotta remember, they could have 1 billion people turn on them, because you gotta remember, it's the people under their control. They could lose control. So the point being is that if they relent to somebody else just an inch, people will see this. And when people see their own citizens, if their own citizens see them giving in just a little bit, that could be the seeds for political dissent. And people will think, oh look, they're showing weakness instead of control. They're relenting instead of like pushing their power. That could end up in the citizens starting to think, yeah, maybe we can get control and we can push back. And like I said, it'll be like providing seeds for political dissent. And you'll have 1 billion people turning on them. What's been built over the years could change overnight. Another reason why they don't want to give in just that little inch or make any concessions, it's like I said, it could be the seeds for political dissent, and people would start protesting. You'd have another Tiananmen Square. They don't want that. And the protests could grow very, very, very big. And they'd have to start killing people, squash those protesters. And it could end up in a lot of people dying. They don't want that. So the other thing you got to remember is their own people, okay? If they show a slight bit of weakness, their own people could start turning on them. Major protests could happen, okay? And yeah, like I said, another Tiananmen Square, and they'd have to like start killing people. They don't want that. It looks bad on them in the eyes of the rest of the world, you know, killing their own citizens when they try to make it look like they're doing everything so good for their citizens. Right. So yeah, for them to give in an inch, it's like losing a mile. And it's all about control. So yeah, if you ever wondered, geez, what's up with these people? Yeah. Anyways.